Mark Cox Show. Follow the show on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Mark Cox Show.
As we move toward the crucial House vote on Thursday, the 7th anniversary of Obamacare's very painful passage, this is our long-awaited chance to finally get rid of Obamacare. It's a long-awaited chance. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. What's the alternative? The alternative is what you have. What you have is nothing. The worst. It's the big lie.
President Trump last night in Louisville talking about Obamacare and his alternative. Apparently, late yesterday, they made some changes to the bill, and we haven't had a lot of time to talk about that yet. But among the changes they made is they're going to allow states the option of receiving Medicaid funding as a block grant, which is something conservatives have been asking for. It would allow states to require able-bodied Medicaid recipients to work in return for getting their insurance. Horrible. And it aims to repeal Obamacare tax increases this year instead of waiting till next year to do it. And it also sets aside about $75 billion in tax credits that are designed to help senior citizens who are concerned that their premiums are going to go up because of their age, and they'd be able to buy their own policies using those tax credits. So, anyway, those are some of the changes that are coming up.
Has Rand Paul moved at all on this bill or saying that he's supporting any of it?
I haven't heard if these are the changes he was looking for or not, but the last comment I saw from him was, let's vote on the House version of it and my own version of it, and we'll see which one passes. So I don't think he's come on board yet.
Because that's going to be very interesting to see, the changes that they've made to make the House members accept it, and then it goes over to the Senate, and you have Susan Collins and these other people that aren't for it.
No.
It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to reconcile.
Yeah, I don't know. I have heard no reaction to these changes yet. Let's go ahead and get to our guest.
Okay. Hey, our next guest is Cherylyn Harley LeBon. She is the chairwoman of Project 21 in Washington, D.C. She is a former senior counsel on the Judiciary Committee, and she's also a former spokeswoman for the RNC. And I figured she would be a pretty good guest for us to talk about the Gorsuch nomination.
Absolutely.
She's went through all of this.
This is what I used to do. It's confirmed, right?
Absolutely.
And I apologize for being late because I'm sitting here and I was engrossed in the hearing. I'm watching it online and I'm like, oh my goodness, I've got to call guys to talk about what I'm watching. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
What's your reaction, Cherylyn? We talked a little bit about some of the lines of questioning from Senator Durbin, Senator Feinstein earlier, Senator Leahy. I mean, none of it really surprised me, but they really seem to have dug deep to try to find some kind of dirt on Neil Gorsuch, and I'm not sure they succeeded.
Right. So yesterday was introductory statements and a lot of, just what we call blah.
Yeah, blah, yeah.
I mean, but what the blah 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 did give you a good indication about is what was going to come today.
Okay.
Right? So their opening statements, because Durbin kind of laid it out yesterday that he was going to reference this business about the former student of Gorsuch's, talking about the pregnancy discrimination. I don't know if you guys heard anything about that today. So the introductory statements are good things to listen to because it gives you a kind of hint about where they're going to be going. So let's go on to today. So as you guys have already indicated, this was there are no surprises there, basically, right? You kind of knew what was coming. You knew that they're digging deep to find something about this man. And so far, in my opinion, it's not sticking. So far, it is not sticking. You've got the cast of characters, the civil rights groups, I call them the race-baiting groups, the women's groups who are lodging all these various claims against Gorsuch, and I just don't see them sticking. I think he's handling himself well. They keep trying to do the rope-a-dope with respect to getting him to answer questions about future particular issues or cases he would decide. He's not taking the bait at all.
Good.
And Cherylyn, my word for them, I call them poverty pimps.
Okay.
Yeah, that too. Too.
Hey, we're all conservatives, and we want him to be on the court. And my question: do you see any weaknesses that maybe the Democrats could score some points on him, or is he pretty solid on everything?
This is what I'm really trying to kind of piece apart and unpack. And every time I watch him and I think that a question is going to get tough, I've got to tell you, he does not disappoint, and he's really handling these questions very well. He's also, I might add, he has a lovely, affable personality, so he's kind of bantering with some of the senators. I saw that with Leahy in particular. Like, even though there is a potential for it to get kind of tense, his personality is such that he's like, oh, no, Senator, we're not going to go. Basically, we're not going to go there. And I just think he's really just handling himself very, very well.
Yeah, I noticed earlier the first question from Chuck Grassley, he's like, Senator, that is a complete softball. I mean, he was having a little bit of fun with him.
Yeah.
He's like, thanks for teeing that one up for me.
He's having fun, and he just has a very lovely personality.
He really does. We're talking to Cherylyn Harley LeBon. And, Cherylyn, you worked on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Did you work with Senator Hatch? Is that correct?
I did. Yes,
okay.
I certainly did. Senator Hatch was my boss, and as you know, these chairmanships rotate, right? So after Senator Hatch, it was Arlen Specter, and then after Arlen, I believe it was Sessions, and then now we have Senator Grassley.
So give us a little insight as to what the staffers do for these senators. They all sit up there. They seem so well prepared. They've got their scripts written out and their questions. My suspicion is
frankly,
that's all drawn up for them.
You're not getting a lot of sleep. So first of all, what happens is even before it gets to the committee, right, the staffers and the committee,
right,
the White House has done their own vetting. They're going to go through a very extensive, and it's been public, I think people have seen it, extensive FBI background check, and there's a questionnaire that the nominee will fill out. So there's a lot of background that's going on even before it gets to the committee. And then once it gets to the committee, there's a whole other level of vetting that's going to occur on both sides of the aisle.
Sure.
So the Republican staff are going to do, and of course I am referencing what I went through as a lawyer, senior counsel at Senate Judiciary Committee during the George W. Bush years. So I was responsible for helping to confirm all of George W. Bush's nominees, right? And so this process is now happening for Trump nominees. Don't know what happened during the Obama administration because I wasn't there, but the process is pretty much the same. So now there'll be vetting going on from the Republican side of the aisle as well as the Democrat side of the aisle. And obviously you can imagine that the Democratic lawyers are going to be very vigorous, right? And will be fielding information that's coming from the interest groups or the poverty pimps, as Chris calls them. And then really what the job of the Republican senators and those lawyers is really going to be when they hear these questions being asked, what the Republican senators are going to do is they're going to do what's called rehabilitate the nominees. So they're going to ask questions to rehabilitate perhaps what some of the claims that the Democrats have alleged or some questions that have come up. So really they are there to provide support, to clarify some things that may be unclear, perhaps what the Democrats have alleged. The Republicans and their lawyers really are going to have to clarify these things, ask their own questions as well, as Lindsey Graham did today. So really, it's an enormous amount of work. These are lifetime appointments, And really, the senators and their lawyers and staffers have to do their due diligence. They have to.
Shirley, we got about a minute left. What is your prediction on the? Oh, I'm sorry. What's your prediction on the committee vote? Is it going to be straight party line, or are there going to be some Democrats that'll vote for him out of the committee, or what do you think?
It'll be interesting to see. Now, about 6 senators have said he deserves a hearing and he deserves a vote. So that's good.
That's
okay,
good.
That's good.
I got about 30. I got about 30 seconds, Sherilyn.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see what the home state senator, the Democrat Senator Michael Bennett, does. We all need to watch that. Watch that. Watch what Senator Bennett does.
Cherylyn Harley LeBon with Project 21. Thanks so much for your input.
Thank you, Cherylyn. Talk to you later.
My pleasure.
All right. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Thank you. That was fascinating to find out what they do behind the scenes there. All right. Coming up in the